Let's kick it off with our favorite show, AEW Dynamite specifically. And let's kick it off with a pay-per-view quality match to start the show. We had a 10-man elimination tag team match between Hangman Adam Page and the Dark Order taking on the Elite. Now, before we even get to the matches, both crews here had special entrances.
Yes.
Now, one was tongue-in-cheek, which very much fit for who they are. And another one was very pull on your heartstrings. Anyone can overcome the odds in Hangman and Dark Order. So, Tim, before we even get to your match thoughts, what did you think of these entrances?
The entrances were great. So not only like what you mentioned, one was tongue-in-cheek and they are the Goon Squad and it's timely. And he says, like Excalibur said, in a great piece of corporate synergy, like advertise the damn movie. Even it's great because it also speaks to they take everything as a joke, right? Here's the Dark Order. They're giving it everything they've got for their last shot at this, right? And everybody's behind them, and they're like literally for the the outcasts of society. And here's the cool kids just making fun of everything, Like I loved all of it. And yes, that Hangman opening with the Dark Order, just I wanted to be back there with a purple scarf and being like, I'm here, guys. I'm here to help. I'm ready to fight. I'm here for you.
I found myself having so much fun right from the jump that I caught myself, and I kid you not, this is a shoot, when Hangman and the Dark Order got to the apron, and then you had that second row of Dark Order on the floor, and they all went with the Dark Order hand signal. Yeah. I also did it with them. I don't know why. I just got caught up in the moment, but I was like, what am I doing? Like, I'm an adult in my own home, and here I am doing hand signals with pro wrestlers. But I did.
But that's what wrestling is. I mean, that's akin to the Too Sweet because it's something organic. Like, you felt it. You're like,
yeah, I'm going to do it right here.
And Hangman did his thing, whatever his thing. Does he do the horn?
He does this.
Oh, he does this. It's the guns up, right?
Guns up.
Guns up.
So, which was very cool because he still kept true to himself. Because I honestly thought as they lined up,
I was like, this is it. I was like, he's the leader. Right. I thought it was.
Right. Yeah. But no, he still stayed true to his Hangman cowboy persona. And then the rest of the Dark Order did their hand signal. Now, on the flip side, you had the Space Jam Elite entrance. And again, corporate synergy. It's the TNT property. TNT is owned by Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers Media also owns HBO. HBO is who made Space Jam 2. So there's the whole corporate synergy tie-ins there. Side note, Space Jam 2, pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I'm sure it wasn't terrible.
So let's get into this. We had an elimination tag. We won't go through how each person got eliminated, but let's just jump to the finish. We had the Elite, which was Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. 3 taking on the one, Cowboy himself, hashtag cowboy shit, Hangman Adam Page. What did you think of the finish of this match?
I was shocked. I mean, I'm not necessarily shocked. I just really thought too easy, right? Like now, I'm glad they didn't. We're going to get more storytelling as it happened. I processed it pretty quickly, but because I think you even floated the idea last week. But I just, it was so hot, and I've said you got to strike while the iron's hot, and I think they will. I think we're getting there. I think it's going to be it all out. Hangman, right, rides off his champ, white horse, Dark Order leading the way. But yeah, I mean, good. It's good for that, right? What I thought was going to happen didn't, and that's a good swerve. And here we go, more story.
Well, and what I liked about it is how it was set up. You had your champions look strong while you still had the contender look good. Because one thing that just defeats the whole best tag team in the division and heavyweight champion is if the 3 of them were to lose to one guy. That is classic WWE since the 80s, where Hogan would be the one survivor, and I'm making all of this up, but it's the Hart Foundation and champion Macho Man, and it's 3-on-1, and then Hogan overcomes the odds. John Cena, if you recall, one of the dumbest matches in WWE history, it was John Cena and Randy Orton, and I believe they beat 22 other wrestlers in one match. It was like a gauntlet elimination tag match. one of the dumber things in the world. They used to do that with Roman Reigns, would overcome and all of that. So it was a good, like, you know what? This isn't that place. This isn't superheroes every time you get a match where the babyface is the underdog. This is a legitimate, like, no, these three guys are really good. So they would make sense that they would beat this one wrestler. So I was very sad that Hangman lost. Got a little depressed, but again, I was excited that, hey, we got some more story to tell here. I do think they're not giving up on the Hangman versus Kenny Omega at All Out. I think that is where we're headed. I am interested, though, where we go with the tag team, because I don't think that the Dark Order are going to get their shot at the Young Bucks at All Out. So I'm curious to see what avenue that they take getting into one of their bigger shows of the year. So that's going to be interesting to see how the tag team division folds out. But very excited, a little depressed, but hopeful for the future. Now after
I want
that
the Hangman.
match, we go.
God damn it. Hangman.
Right here. Hangman.
Guns up.
Well, you know.
Bottoms up and guns up, baby.
Well, you know. Maybe get a background check before you guns up. But anyhow, backstage, we had Marvez talking to Pac.
But anyway, right.
Yeah.
Finger guns
we had
up.
Marvez. Finger guns all day. But we had Marvez talking to Pac. And Pac was saying, hey, Lucha Bros were supposed to be here, and isn't it coincidental that they got stuck at the airport because their car got canceled? And as soon as he says that, we have Andrade with Chavo Guerrero going, hey, you can't take care of your friends? Don't worry. We got a limo, and we got the Lucha Bros being picked up by us. So it's on us, Pac. Don't you worry about it. Everything's good. You know, chill out. And you could just tell the tension right there is just boiling to some type of match. We're going to get Andrade versus Pac, which sign me up, especially as like an opener for an all-out pay-per-view. Oh, so good. So it was pretty good. Now as we move on, we get back into the ring, and we have the Ricky Starks FTW celebration band all around. Taz looked like he was a DJ for a set at Mosaic or something.
DJ Taz, baby. Taz does whatever the fuck Taz wants to do. You gonna tell him no?
No.
No.
I'm not telling him nothing.
Definitely not.
Yeah, no.
I'm telling you sound great, DJ Taz.
Yeah, keep playing those tunes.
Yeah.
Play Freebird again. I don't give a shit.
Scratching them.
No,
records?
he ain't scratching. He's playing all the.
Yeah, it's all digital anyway. These days. Get with it.
Well, and he's playing all the old stuff anyhow. He's an old guy. He ain't playing new stuff.
No. Hey, don't discredit DJ Taz. He's street.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. He is street, but we'll see what he plays. Maybe in the future.
Personally like it. He may be like, I don't give a fuck if you guys like it. You're gonna you're not leaving until you fucking dance. And I'm playing Merle Haggard. I don't give a shit.
Right. So this segment a little bit, it felt like they had something in mind, but then didn't have a finish in mind, and we didn't really get much. It was fine. Brian Cage comes out. He puts someone in a drum, and then he breaks the trombone. Little tongue-in-cheek comment by Jim Ross where he says trombones aren't meant to be in pro wrestling. And then if you're following on the Twitter timeline, you get Xavier Woods taking pictures with his trombones in the shower or wherever he was. So there's a little fun tongue-in-cheek there that they're having a little back and forth with. But yeah, I don't know where we're going. I mean, I think we're going to get Brian Cage versus Ricky Starks. But what did you think of this segment?
I think you're right. The story is that Ricky Starks did the swerve, and he's now Team Taz. Brian Cage is gone, and so I feel like they feel they've got to get through the obligatory I'm getting my revenge. Then the best way for this is Cage gets his match with Starks. He doesn't even want, like, they're like, you don't get the title. He's like, I don't give a shit. I just want to beat your ass. I don't want that stupid title. Beats his ass, is out, moves on to something else, and then they go around still being heels, and everybody's like, man, fuck these guys, right? And they're like, oh, fuck us, right? And then they, you know what I mean? It's just new person. Like, let's cut this clean. Let's let Cage get over and be out.
Yeah. I think it could have been told a little bit better of why they kicked out Brian Cage. You know, we do this a lot where it's like, we kicked out Brian Cage. Who cares? We're celebrating. And it's like, well, give us some reasons. What was the beef? Is he arrogant in your opinion, or, you know, whatever it is?
Does
I
he
think
smell
that would have been
bad?
a little bit more interesting. Yeah.
Was he sliding into your girl's DMs? Like, what's up?
Yeah, I want to know a little bit more of the reasoning behind it, and hopefully we get
let it
that.
be a dumb reason. Let it be a reason that you would hate somebody for being mad at him. Be like, that means you beat him up. I'm like, that because he puts his milk in the bowl before a cereal. Like, just Just give us something, anything.
Yeah. Well,
right?
you should get your ass kicked for that.
Right, yeah, that's true. That's a bad example, maybe. That would work for a face tactic.
Yeah, but I know what you mean. So, again, Brian Cage beats up the band and then chases off Ricky Starks. After that, we had commentary says that Tony Khan has opened the forbidden door, and they introduce a video package where Tanahashi says, hey, I've won everything in New Japan except for this IWGP US title. So you know what, motherfuckers? I got next. And that's fun, right? That's a big name in New Japan saying that they're going to go after a mid-card title, obviously the AEW tie-in. I thought that was cool. I thought if you're a New Japan fan, like myself, check it out right here, New Japan Pro Wrestling, thought it was cool. But if you're an AEW fan, as we mentioned before a few times with AEW, you got to explain why he's such a big deal. You know, I get what he said there is I've won every title, so you kind of maybe put 2 and 2 together, but still a little bit more of who he's beat, how long he was champion, things of that nature. I would have done just a little bit more for casual fans to understand who Tanahashi is. But after that, we go right in.
Let me jump in on that one.
Go ahead.
I think they're taking the stance of like, we're going to be who we are. We're going to catch some casual fans, and you may have to be like, what the hell is Tanahashi? Or maybe you've heard the name, and now you're going to get to see it. So I think they're just like, I think they're taking the stance of like, we don't have to overdo it. We're putting them on the stage. You'll figure it out, right? Even if you don't Google it, when you see him, you're going to be like, shit, I need to see more. Let's do it. I think that's the stance they're taking. And I guess, hey.
It's good. It's good, but it's hard for example, if
I'm old, damn it.
Well, not even that, but like I've been watching wrestling a lot more with my brother-in-law who only knows of John Cena and, The Rock, right? Mm-hmm. And so if he were to see that,
2 young upstarts there.
Well, like he would understand, okay, maybe he's a big deal, but maybe, as they proved with the entrances at the start of this match, they have some good production value. So maybe put together Tanahashi hitting a finisher on Kenny Omega. You know what I mean? Have him showing the audience that he's beat up some of these AEW guys, and then cut the promo of, I've held all the titles, but I haven't held this one. I thought that would have been a little bit better. But again, that's splitting hairs.
Yeah.
So let's get back into this is a spot where, going to be completely honest with you, I didn't know what happened, but one of the best feuds in pro wrestling, in my opinion, FTR taking on Santana and Ortiz. This feels genuine. This feels gritty. It feels like it needs more time, to be honest, which is a tribute to how good they are, because it's not like I'm exhausted by it. But we get FTR versus Santana Ortiz.
I think it has, for me, yes, it's one of the best storylines in pro wrestling right now, but that's because I think if we're talking about the best storylines in pro wrestling right now, we're talking about, you can probably count them on one hand,
But it's still entertaining.
But it is. I just think, like, for me, I'm like, they could be doing a lot better. We've talked about some of the missteps, some of the kind of, I think they relied on easy things. They're like, you talked about my kids. These are my kids. And it's like, okay, but like, you know what I mean? The thing I remember most about any kid storyline now is like Brock Lesnar saying, I don't give a shit about your kids, right? So like,
that's great.
You know what I mean? So now the bar's raised. You got to bring something more than just like, you know what I mean? It's yes, everybody can get behind it, but I feel like it's one that like everybody's told that story in their daily life, right? So like, I think the match is going to be amazing, though. That's why I'm excited for this, and I'm excited for this kind of like stacking. I feel like this has to be a win for Team LAX, whatever the fuck we're going to call them now, Pride and Powerful, because like they need it, right? I feel like FTR is made to the point in AEW for a while that they can do that like early elite. Hey, we're taking a back seat for a while, right? I feel like Santana and Ortiz have been taking that back seat, and I'm hoping for them to get this victory, but we've got some time to get that.
Well, they don't. Yeah. So FTR picks up the victory, but
this feud ain't over, is it? I mean, like,
right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But we'll see when we can get this feud to get back on track, because I haven't been paying attention. I don't know of the breaking the kayfabe real injuries, but it looked like.
That may put a pause on it. So this match aside, I mean, what I'm referencing is like this. This didn't feel like it was the blow off, correct? Like you're with me on that, but
Well, maybe. That's
but
the thing.
now
I don't know
that this happened, that may put a monkey wrench in everything I was saying. But if it doesn't, if he's hurt and needs a week or two, and we get there and work that in the storyline, you know what I mean? I feel like we need Santana and Ortiz to kind of be like, put them down and be that next tier up to be like, where's the gold?
Right, and that's where I think whoever does come out the victor needs to go right after the Young Bucks. Yeah. And again, I think Santana Ortiz as baby faces right now.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and if you recall, they made their entrance. Sorry, but my dogs are so upset about this Young Bucks thing. But I think if you recall, Santana and Ortiz made their debut in AEW by beating up the Young Bucks.
Yeah.
So maybe we revisit that. But anyhow, there was an injury.
Your dog's upset that you're mentioning the Young Bucks. That's not supposed to be said in your house. They understand that. True. They feel the tension. Like it comes across from you when we start discussing the Young Bucks. Is somebody robbing your house? It's possible, huh? That is possible. Yeah, that's the new one, isn't it?
Yeah, he's always upset about something.
I know the feeling. But anyway, hey, hopefully FTR 2, that's FTR 2, right? The one with the hair?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The buff one, not the fat one.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The guy who doesn't look like he's 50, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. The non-truck driver looking one.
Yes.
Kidding. I was kidding there. I know we have some truck drivers who listen. That was a joke.
But he does look like he drives a truck. Either that or he's like the weight coach for a high school football team in rural America somewhere, right?
I can see that.
Yep.
Hey, so let's get past that.
Definitely has a motorcycle.
We're being a little bit droning with this. So let's move on. So we had backstage Tony Schiavone.
Never.
Yeah. We had Tony Schiavone talking to Britt Baker, and Britt Baker said, hey, she tapped Nyla Rose and broke her wrist. Look how good she is. And she needs someone to watch her back because Rebel can't do it, so we need someone. So maybe we're getting some more muscle, which would be entertaining.
We are, but who is it?
Well, I don't know that. But here's the point I want to make. Hey, lady, you're really entertaining. You're really good with your promo skills, and you have some fun matches, but you can't stay healthy for like longer than 6 months. You're like the, to use a basketball analogy, you're like the Derrick Rose of professional wrestling, where Derrick Rose, when healthy, is one of the best basketball players of all time, but Derrick Rose healthy is like
few and far
full
between.
Moon during noon. You know?
I really think I remember when Steve Austin was like, hey, my knees were giving out, I had to change my ring style and all that kind of stuff, or neck broken, all that kind of jazz. And he's like, so I turned to a brawler. And then he became the biggest fucking star of all time. Like, I've said this before. We named an episode title after it. Moves don't matter, right? So whatever you're doing that breaks your wrist, I get, look, even Steve Austin could have broke his wrist. Yeah. That's a thing aside. But, like, we don't – these – and I understand the ladies may have an idea that they've got to go a little step further, right, in our patriarchal world, right? And they may be right. But to me, I'm like, hey, listen, you fit 15 amazing spots. Give me 7. Save it for the next one. Draw it out. I understand now more in the last year what I always hated hearing Jim Ross say on his podcast of slow it down, because I was like, dude, athletes are faster now. But I think what he's getting is like, the story is in the pauses, right? Like, you've got to kind of linger for a moment and let everybody process for a second and get there, right? And not that this was too fast of a match or anything that led her to this position, but I think, yes, Britt Baker, you've got too many things going to wind up hurt every time, and, that's easier said than done. I can't be like, stop getting hurt, right? It could be freak accidents every time. But
it just seems like a lot of freak accidents, right?
Yeah.
Sheeta kicks her in the face and breaks her nose. Then she rips her ACL, I believe, and that's why she's in the wheelchair. And now she breaks her wrist. It's like, we haven't been doing this for that long, pal.
I'm upset because these are like two of my favorites in all of wrestling is Rebel and Britt Baker. And I'm like, gosh, dang it, I want them out there more. I'm interested to see who who's the third woman. Right?
Why do you think it's a woman?
True, it could be a man. They didn't even say a gender, did they?
Oh, God bless America. He's already in a faction. But you know who would be so funny to be their muscle?
Who?
Pretty Peter Avalon. That would just be so funny. It would be the reverse of China with DX.
What if it's Shivani?
Oh, that would be fun.
Now, in a wrist thing, maybe she can get in there and do,
that's not like a career ender, but yeah.
Right.
All right, so now let's get, after the commercial break, into some fun stuff. I need your feedback.
Hold on. I want Shivani in like rolled up sleeves with like the Diesel gloves, like he's coming for a fight, right? And he's almost got Stockholm syndrome, like she's convinced him like he's got to be there to protect her. All right.
He squares up like the Mrs. Dad at WrestleMania.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be funny. So now I need your feedback on this next segment. We had Tony Schiavone, which, let's take a quick step aside and get back to it. It was announced that goddamn Tony Khan was making this fucking announcement, and then Tony Schiavone just did. And I'm fine with Tony Schiavone making any announcement, because Tony Schiavone can make any announcement because he's great at it. But if you say Tony Khan's making the fucking announcement, God bless America, get Tony Khan to say it. Yeah. I don't just say that AEW has a big announcement, and then I'm not expecting
or
to
at least
see
address
Tony
it, be
Khan
like, Tony couldn't make it, although we saw him later in this. Anyway.
Yeah. So anyhow, Tony Schiavone introduces a special announcement for Rampage. He says the show will be at the United Center in Chicago. It's going to be called First Dance. The crowd instantly starts chanting CM Punk. They start showing crowd members chanting CM Punk, and all is good. Then we instantly
hold on. Your point that you're trying to make there, I think, is lost on something that you bring up a lot. Is that I don't think they're pre-planned enough in their production department to be like, show that because we want, like, they didn't think it through. They just showed the crowd chanting something.
No, I think they had some plans. I think that was.
I know they've got some plans. I mean, we'll get there later, but like, I'm surprised they actually did show the crowd. You would think they would have forgot it.
Well, yeah, their production value again isn't top notch, but it's getting there. It's getting better. It's not horrible by any sense. It's not Ring of Honor.
It's not.
But they're not good.
They got lights.
They got lights now. So hey, credit
Ring of
to you
Honor
guys.
has lights now,
and they have great talent. I'm not saying anything in the ring is bad. I'm just saying behind the camera is. Anyhow, so we get Tony Schiavone says Rampage. It's going to be called First Dance. It's going to be in the United Center in Chicago.
Not the last dance.
Now, Marvez goes backstage with Sting. Hold on. Okay, let's get through it, and then I want to just deconstruct something with you before I get your feedback.
Okay.
So, Marvez is backstage with Sting and Darby Allin, and Marvez asks Darby Allin, hey, First Dance, what do you think? And Darby Allin's like, and again, I'm paraphrasing here, but he's like, hey, if you want to be the best, you prove it in AEW, even if you think you're the best in the world. So, quickly before I get your feedback, let's just deconstruct that whole weirdness here. So we go from WCW legend Tony Schiavone making an announcement. Then we go to Alex Marvez with Evolve Star, because that's really where he made his name.
Yep.
Darby Allin talking about or alluding to
standing with WCW and WWE Hall of Famer.
Standing with WCW and Pro Wrestling Hall of Famer Sting, alluding to the fact of WWE icon CM Punk. A year ago, Tim, if I told you that's a segment, what does your brain do?
Well, I wouldn't have thought it would be pulled off this well, and I wouldn't have thought it would have been on its grandest stage, right? Well, a year ago, I mean, AEW's been going at this a couple years now, I guess. But yes, God, that tone right there solidifies it. That will be CM Punk. But what is the Daniel Bryan aspect of it?
Nah, no, you know who it is. It's not CM Punk. You know who it is.
What?
Tim. It's Braun Strowman.
It is not Braun Strowman. You keep saying that. You keep trying to make that a thing.
I think that would be
now. Listen, if they swerve, let him come out like Funkasaurus and just be like, "Oh, I didn't expect that, did you?"
That would be the funniest thing. What would be funny is if they brought in a gimmick act, like if they brought in who was in the Lucha House Party that just got Kalisto? If they brought out Kalisto as like the best in the world, they're like, what the fuck? And then
so if Jericho wasn't doing his retirement tour here, more on that later, I would have thought it's Jericho because he's the best in the world at what I do, right?
Well, hey, they had a match that went to a draw, so it definitely could still be Jericho. Again, we'll get into that a little bit.
Now.
Maybe we'll see. We don't know.
Nah.
But then to blow your mind even more about all that I talked about there, right? WCW legend Tony Schiavone talking about an announcement that goes into an Evolve star standing next to a WCW legend that's alluding to a WWE icon. Then we go right into the Bullet Club music, and then it's a New Japan Pro Wrestling match. What? And, you know, I heard this either on YouTube or I read it on a tweet or something like that. But it really feels like this is true, and I may have said this last week, but AEW is becoming the Super Smash Bros. Of pro wrestling.
It is. So I said I think they feel like they are the independent scene getting a big-time stage. And that seems to be how they're going. I think they're like, hey, we're a core company, but we are, like, touching and pulling in and being like, here, look. And to their credit, I've said this is what WWE always should have been. They could have done this with the network they could have bought the entire professional wrestling world with their resources and stuff and just said, like, here, we're going to put you on the network. Anyway.
Yeah.
You know, just feature a few highlights and be like, check them out over there on our network at whatever. Now, you know, AEW's using it to just garner ratings, traditional TV style, and then, of course, online, you know, clicks and whatnot. But, hey, it's working, and it's getting me exposure to people that I've heard of and wanted to see more of. So, man, Haku is amazing, and it's I always like the multi-generational wrestlers, right? I always want to give them a shot. Like, I always pull for them longer. Like, I liked Hurt His Asshole, Curtis Axel.
You like Brock Anderson? Brock Anderson's kid?
Time will tell. Well, so if he comes out wrestling more and he's looking good, like, I'm going to, like, pull for that guy because of that history tie-in, right? Like, when they pulled the NXT game show and they brought out McGillicuddy, right? Curtis Axel, and they brought out Ted DiBiase's son. I was like, this is awesome. I'd like to see both of these guys do well, right? I don't know, just because tied to childhood or whatever, right? Nostalgia. But so seeing Haku's kids, which Ross is correct. Every time we've ever heard any wrestler discuss who had been around, like, who the actual toughest person in wrestling is, it's always Haku. Everybody always says Haku. Or Harley Race, maybe.
Well, yeah. I've got
of course, it's urban legends, of course.
And it's also during a time period when Chuck Norris with a sidekick would make everyone pee their pants. You know what I mean? Like, let's not act like really knew.
People weren't training a whole lot back then, so anybody who had any kind of fighting skills probably got over pretty easily.
And, you know, being a bully made you a kind of folklore legend.
Speaking of, if you want to learn how to train and fight and you're in the Independence area, right? Or is it Blue Springs? It's Blue Springs?
Kansas City, but yeah, Blue Springs area. Yeah.
All over the metro, you can, yes. But your buddy, our friend of the show.
Sharkbait MMA Jiu-Jitsu
give him a little free plug, right?
Yeah,
he'll have to pay in the future, of course, but we'll give him a little open a new school. Friend of the show, Sharkbait. So anyway, back to this.
So we get into an IWGP United States title match. Lance Archer with Jake the Snake Roberts against Haku's son, as you mentioned, the 11-foot Hikaleu. Nailed it. I don't know how to say his name, but he was a fucking tall bastard that, man alive, I wanted to see more of this guy.
Yes.
Like, again, Haku's son and all of that. But if you just said, hey, we have a mystery opponent for Lance Archer and this guy walked out, I'm going to look twice. I'll tell you what, one, this guy knows where the weights is. Well, one, this guy knows where the weights are.
Yeah.
And two, I think he wins the award for best getting off the bus award. You know what I mean? Like maybe Brian Cage, but this guy is a close second. And this was a fun match.
Yes.
I don't think it like set the world on fire. Obviously, we didn't lead the show with this match, but it was.
This is a good, again, like, this is a good first, right out the gate, first title defense, next night or next week kind of thing for a guy like Lance Archer, whose entire demeanor and character is built around only a few people can actually handle this monster, and you're just going to get chewed up, right? And so this guy comes in, he can handle a little bit because he's a big bastard, but still gets chewed up in retrospect.
Yeah, so Lance Archer, for the finish, hits his blackout to get the victory. Then it's announced by Excalibur that Lance Archer is going to go over to Japan and take on Tanahashi to defend his IWGP United States Championship. Now, I'm going to go out a little bit of order here just because I think it ties in better. But then Jon Moxley, later in the show, has a promo, and he's like, hey, watching the Olympics, it's so great. Here's my beef. Why the fuck are they over there and I can't get over there? I'm pissed off. I wanted to beat that guy's ass when I was champion. Now Lance Archer just gets the chance to go over there? What the hell? And then he says something to the effect of, I'm the Forbidden Door, Tanahashi, and you're not going to like what's on the other side. Whew. Jon Moxley, all New Japan now.
And I think this is where AEW's working relationship with these organizations will work well, because when you don't have anything to do for Moxley, I'm fine seeing him quickly backstage to promo something somewhere else. You know what I mean? Because then I'll be like, I might check that thing out. Right? And then, you know what I mean? More stars that you frequent in and out of there, that's going to share back and forth talent and whatnot. But, it's not like Moxley faces a random guy and wins, in 3 minutes because we had to get Moxley on TV. That's fine. Like, if you want to put him on TV because it's Moxley, great. And he's promo something else, that's way better than just he's got to beat up, I don't know, won a private party this week.
Yeah. Well, and I also think it's a great way with these titles, the IWGP United States title, and also the FTW championship to a little bit of a lesser effect, but still I think it accomplishes the same goal, where you have two guys in Ricky Starks and Lance Archer, and they're not having to really do anything with the AEW roster, but they look strong by proxy just because they're holding a title. So I think that's a good way of, instead of just hot-shotting them into a title feud, for example, Ricky Starks is having to take on Miro next week, and then that's just a lose-lose, because what do? Now you can have Ricky Starks say, I have a title, and then Lance Archer is over here saying, I have a title, and just by process of association, they look stronger, they look more credible to when they do want to challenge for AEW championships. It's more believable. So I like this idea of the synergy with other companies, but still having AEW be the focus. Again, Jon Moxley calling out the New Japan company and the New Japan Tanahashi wrestler is okay. Maybe not too many times, right? Like, now it's been a couple months.
I don't need it every week.
I just want Jon Moxley to be, again, kind of like the Good Brothers. It's like, hey, remember who signs your checks? Let's talk about those people, So anyhow, that's just a critique, and it's very minor. I love everything that's going on. Now let's get into some fun WWE style pro wrestling storytelling here. Marvez again is backstage. He's just our backstage guy for everything. He's with Cody, and Cody gets one word out, and I'm pretty sure he started laughing because I think Malachi maybe showed his dick or something and made him break before the kick to the face, but then Malachi kicks him right to the face. Did you catch that, by the way?
No, I didn't catch that. I'm gonna have to go back.
Cody started to laugh a little, like half a second before he got kicked in the face, and I don't know what Malachi Black did. I don't know if it was one of these things, but he made him crack just for a quick second, and then he got kicked in the face.
He probably did show him a testicle or two. Look, this was the best spot they've done with Malachi Black, but what I'm going to say is this is the exact same spot they've done with Malachi Black every fucking time. Mm-hmm. He spin kicked a couple guys and stared menacingly for the fourth fucking week in a row, or whatever it is now. Remember we talked about Sting and his snow? It's Malachi Black and his fucking spin kick. Like, I get it. You're fucking Van Damme of 2021.
Two things I'll say, though. Well, two things I'll say with that is, one, the weird eye. The eye is getting worse, which means it could be some character trait, right? Like, the darker he gets, the worse the eye gets. And second, if you caught it, it wasn't mic'd, but he said, welcome to the House of Black. So maybe we're going to get some type of, I don't know if exactly it's an apples comparison, but maybe some type of Firefly Funhouse for Malachi Black. I don't know. That was just a thought of mine. But I agree
Fuego
with
del
you.
Sol, though, sold that kick. Looked like he killed him.
Oh, and I tell you what.
Fuego del Sol, I've called to the ring, by the way.
You have?
Yeah. NWL. Hey. He was there as Fuego del Sol. We called him to the ring. He came up and gave me one of these on me to fuck with me, you know what I mean? And I maintained my professionalism and fucking kept announcing.
Look at that.
Yeah. Fuego del Sol. I think he gave me one of these, the little, right by my ear and stuff, right? He was trying to, you know what I mean? Be all freaky deaky. Fuego del Sol.
Well, let's try to get him on the show. Maybe he'll remember that memory.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah, he looked like he killed him. God damn, look like he broke his neck.
Well, it looked like
spot.
breaking breaking kayfabe for a second, maybe that he had a contract on the line, and if he didn't sell this right, he wasn't going to get a contract to AEW.
He's like, look, I'll get him over.
Yeah, it looked like the best spot of the night. I mean, he sold that better than anyone did in any match. So, yeah, next week we'll get Malachi Black versus Cody. I don't know if this is going to be the start of something or the blow off. I kind of hope it's just the blow off. I hope it's the one match. Cody has to go find himself something.
I'm here for it. I'm ready to like this Malachi Black character. I need a story, though. This is not a story. This is just like, okay, but why again, right? Again, why? And why can't be explained after you have the match and you beat him. I need it to happen now. So, I don't know. Yeah, I hope this is over and we move on and we get something like a Firefly Funhouse. Again, I think Malachi Black's a guy that you've got to check, though. I think he may be a genius of a storyteller for people who like his exact niche. But if you want to expand that, you need somebody to kind of like, hey, let's maybe do this instead of that, and we'll win an Emmy, right?
Possibly. Yeah, I'm intrigued to see what he does next. I do think, if we're making an early prediction, I think Malachi Black does win for two reasons. One, I think AEW, that is in the gotta look strong coming right out of the gate kind of crew. And then two, if you've been paying attention to the TV ads and things of that nature, the Go Big Show season 2 is coming up, so Cody has to be a judge on that, so I could see him losing this to then go do that.
Have you, Tom, watched any kind of mainstream regular cable television or network television game show in the last few years? And not to say that nobody's watching them. I want to know if you personally have.
Oh, I watched the first couple episodes. And here's the thing with...
Not regularly, but have you seen one lately?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I've watched a few lately because my wife will be watching something and I'll like catch something like, game shows are weird now. I feel like they're really like...
I just love...
The dialogue
I just love this whole crew.
The dialogue feels very weird. I don't know. I haven't watched this particular one, the Go Big Show. But like...
So... Yeah. I watched the Go Big Show because I like all the people. So Snoop Dogg is Snoop Dogg, and he's fine, and everyone's favorite uncle.
You know what you're getting.
Cody is fine. The little country singer girl is cool. Rosario Dawson,
which one is that?
Really fun. I don't know her name. It's this skinny girl. But the host is Bert Kreischer, and Bert Kreischer is the fun. And then you get the weirdness of guys hanging, a car off their nipples or whatever the fuck it is. And it's fun. It's forgettable after an hour, but it's good. It's better than The Bachelor. You know what I mean? So like it's passable. So my whole point there is I think Cody's going to go film that breaking kayfabe for a second. So Malachi Black will get the black mass on him, but then that's the thing. Where does he go from there? Dustin Rhodes? Because if you do that,
well,
Brody Lee did that.
It could be anybody. I mean, it could really be anybody. If he beats Dustin or fucking Cody and we just move on. He could do anything. If you're right, if we're doing like the House of Black or whatever he wants to do and be his weird ass character, I don't want it to be anybody in that fucking nightmare family. Is that what they call that thing?
Right.
The nightmare family?
Mm-hmm. Nightmare Factory.
Nightmare Factory, right?
Yeah, because then the factory is Cutie. Oh, damn it.
Oh, fuck. We were supposed to.
Wow, we're 30 minutes late.
God damn it.
We'll just
Cutie, has he been on hold this whole time?
We'll
let him know. Be like, sorry, dude.
Yeah,
Tim's still a huge fan. We appreciate your assistance or your help or whatever. Just be nice to him. Text him, tell him we'll get him on next week. Sorry, Cutie. Shit, we're live. Cutie, sorry.
Yeah,
can we run that back? No, we're live, pal.
Let's go live. Fuck yeah, we're live. I actually think, what would be fun if I had the pencil here for just a quick moment with Malachi Black. So I think he'll beat Cody, right? Let's have him. Thank you.
Yeah. Damn it, you should have brought a pencil, Tom. Come on. Hey, if you're not watching the YouTube, if you're only listening to the podcast, you're missing more than half the fun.
Yeah, it is so much fun on here. I tell you what, there's so many visual jokes that you're missing out on. So join us on the YouTube channel. But what I was going to say is I think what would be fun if I, again, had the creative control over Malachi Black's character. One thing that I think needs to happen more in wrestling is when you have a bunch of weirdos, we need to have a hierarchy of who the fucking head weirdo is. And so I think right after he gets done with Cody, his next match should be with Dr. Luther. And then after Dr. Luther, we're going with Abaddon's boyfriend, or you know what I mean? Just get all the weirdos lined up and have him take out all of those motherfuckers to where we all understand, hey, there's a weird sideshow over here of voodoos and witches and stuff, but the king of this whole group is Malachi Black. To where then, let's say the Dark Order gets done with their elite stuff, and then the Dark Order starts to get influenced by Malachi Black, but you need to have him establish himself as King Weirdo. And so I think that would be a fun thing. That's what I would do with Malachi Black.
Yeah, the whole Dark Order thing, I wonder at some point, like, I know for the foreseeable future, I don't think they anoint anybody the new leader of the Dark Order just out of the whole Brody Lee thing, right? I think they don't want to, like, take away from that. But at some point, if we get 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years down the road, nobody remembers. You know what I mean? Like, as sad as that is to say, and I don't mean to be
I know
rude
what you're saying, but
or crass, but at some point, like, and maybe they're not still a thing in 10 years, but the iron could be hot at some point to actually go dark, to actually have a leader. And I don't know who better that you're going to have that has that history than a guy like Malachi Black.
See, but this is where, again, I like when we have these fun conversations. This is when, again, that's very easy, right? Malachi Black's weird. They're weird. Let's put them together. But what I think you do is, again, you have Malachi Black beat up the Dr. Luthers. There's another guy on Dark too that's kind of like the devil. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but beat up him and beat up all these weirdos, you know? And then Malachi Black just assumes, hey, I'm leading you guys. You're the Dark Order. I'm the King of Darkness, or whatever the fuck we want to call that, right? The House of Black.
Yeah, but they're just Dungeons and Dragons nerds, and they're like, oh,
well, dude. But like, welcome to my house. Like, you now will serve me. And then that's when we go like, no, there's strength in numbers. We learned from Hangman that we can do this on our own. And they overcome the big bad devil to just be, like you said, hey, we like to dabble in that shit, but we're not going to hurt anyone. Dark Order, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I think they should do.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
It's like cosplay, dude.
Yeah. Right. Like, what the fuck? We don't really put, spells on people.
Bro. Yeah.
Get out of here.
Bro. We're equal opportunities.
I just moved 3 spaces to the right because of this Dungeons and Dragons fucking card.
Yeah.
Think I actually care about that fucking spells? Get out of here. Hey, Tim, let's keep it moving. 2 things inspire me. I don't know if they inspire you, but they inspire me. 1 is a vengeful god, and 2 is a double-jointed wife. Good God, Miro is awesome. Is Miro not the best?
2 things motivate me in life. A vengeful god.
I said it's inspiring.
And a double-jointed wife. God damn it. God damn it. I'm stealing that because I know who's not a wrestling fan, and I'm going to use that.
And the Redeemer, he has built a nickname with no in-ring action. Now, obviously, he's taken out Lance Archer, and he's taken out, Darby Allin in the past to get the title, things like that. But he is now the Redeemer, and we just are like, no, that totally makes sense. Because he's this, like, weird pseudo, I'm called by God to be a greater force to kill all you people. And that's fucking cool,
perfect.
Man.
And I mean, it's kind of, we're spinning our wheels right now, but it's perfect because he's going to take a few more on and he's just going to destroy people. And somebody, we don't even know who it is yet, I feel like, but when somebody's hot, marry the 2, Rusev will put him over, they'll get a big victory, they'll be the new TNT champion, and Rusev is not going to get hurt. But it's going to be a while. I mean, it's going to be a while down the road.
Oh, it's definitely going to continue to next week because next week he takes on Lee Johnson. Let's do one of these for Lee Johnson. Your fucking ass is going to be hurt
Lee
for
Johnson
a while,
is
pal.
Practicing cells all week. All week. How do I look like I broke my neck and not actually break my neck?
I tell you what, but I'm excited to see Miro back in the ring. He is so much fun. I hope as soon as he gets this victory over Lee Johnson, we put a microphone back into his face and cut a promo. More promos from Miro. That is what I'm all about. Now, the next match. This, in my opinion, is where I would have put it before the main event because no one fucking cares about it anymore. It is Private Party and Slender Man versus Jurassic Express. I don't know if that guy's name is. Jurassic Express and Christian Cage.
And
this was good. This was serviceable. Again.
Who the fuck was? Forget it.
I don't know. The dancing one. Angelico, is that his name?
Yes, Angelico.
There it is. This guy that always fucking looks like Slender Man.
He does the John Moxley with a little extra arm movement, right?
Yeah. Fucking weirdo. And I like him. He's fine. I'm just.
Hey, look, don't get me wrong. I enjoy some of the same things that Angelico enjoys. Yeah. Just clearly not to the same amount.
Yeah, you just have a different.
It's clearly not to the same amount.
You have a different wavelength.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
I'm clearly doing way less. Anyway.
Yeah. So with this match, it was good in the sense of for the live crowd. As we talked about, this was in North Carolina. One of the Carolina legends is Matt Hardy, right? So you got to have Matt Hardy in front of the crowd. You're checking all the boxes. You still get Jungle Boy out there looking like Jungle Boy. We get to sing his song. So again, you're checking all the boxes, but no one really cared. And this is where, the ebbs and flows of a show. This is what you do right before the main event, because let's just get to it. Jurassic Express and Christian Cage win the match. It was fine. You had Marco Stunt run up and lose a shoe, which was a great, improv moment there like that. But, okay, and then I also forgot this in my notes. Then the Blade comes out and knocks out Christian Cage and was like, no one touches Matt Hardy, so we're going to get the Blade versus Christian Cage next week. That's fine. But what I was going to say is the women's match, as always, it seems like, was right before the main event. And side note, and I don't know if they knew this, but side note, North Carolina is in love with Thunder Rosa.
Yeah.
I think she had one of the loudest pops of the night. That is where you put that match, and you put this 6-man tag right before the main event. Yeah, this was a lull
because of the two.
Yeah.
And again, I don't know, man. I really like Christian Cage, just his whole career, his demeanor, the person we hear he is, right? Like, so I was more excited than what I feel we've gotten, but of course I think his real value is going to be that behind the scenes thing. So
yeah, and everything that he's doing is fun and fine, and if he can do another match with the Blade like he's done with the other guys where he has to pull it out in the 9th inning to get the victory, then more power to him.
We get the Jungle Boy entrance song.
That's what I'm saying. It checked all the boxes as far as like, hey, this is all fun, right? Yep, but this is the down, again, of the ebbs and flows. This was the down before you get to the main event. But before we get there, let's talk about that standard women's match before the main event. It was Julia Hart taking on Thunder Rosa. Now, the news with Thunder Rosa is she is 100% all elite. She is with AEW. What do you think about that move?
I thought AEW didn't matter. I thought you could just be on AEW whether you were all-time AEW or not. So I don't know if that's going to help or hurt her career. I don't know. I mean, seeing more Thunder Rosa is okay. Her biggest spots have come like against Britt Baker. Mm-hmm. And then, I just don't. I mean, she could challenge for some titles, right? So, look, she's clearly one of the best. I love Thunder Rosa, and again, the matches are always intense. Same way I feel about, gosh, why am I drawing a blank now? The one we talk about all the time that makes everything feel real. The female wrestler. It'll come to me. Whatever. You get in this match, and you're just like, this is great. I like this. So yeah, great. I just don't know. Like, to me, I was like, she felt like I already saw her as many times as I saw any other woman on the roster. So when they're like full-time AEW, I'm like, okay, nothing will change. I'll still see her.
Well, but I think it does. And this is what I think it means is we can now possibly give her the title, because as much as we've done this, AEW is going to all these other promotions, fun stuff. No one from an outside promotion has yet to win the AEW championship. So by Thunder Rosa being a full-time all-elite wrestler, I think when we get that Lights Out 2 match, we're going to have possibly Thunder Rosa taking the belt. So that's why I think it's important.
Fact checked. It's Serena Deeb I was discussing.
Oh, Serena Deeb throws your fucking knee into the ground.
Yeah.
Oh, she needs to be all elite. because that's another person.
She's on the women's roster according to the Wikipedia, at least.
But isn't she the NWA Women's Champion?
Is she right now still the NWA Women's Champion? I don't know. I don't watch the NWA Power enough.
I
or at all.
Yeah, I've caught it a couple times.
I've caught it a couple times. I just don't watch it regularly enough to tell you anything. Yeah, I don't got enough time. I'm a busy guy.
Are you?
Yeah.
You are. But Thunder Rosa being all elite makes me think that we could possibly see her be the one that dethrones Britt Baker when we want to switch the title.
We've got a whole lot of factions in AEW, but I'm not recalling a woman's faction. So.
Somewhat. Right, we kind of did with Nyla Rose and Vicky Guerrero.
Let's get like a named faction.
Yeah, that's true.
Thunder Rosa. Who's she going to lead?
Oh, who's Thunder Rosa going to lead? The one that's left from the women's tag team tournament victory. Not Ivelisse, but the other one, Diamante.
Yes.
So you do Thunder Rosa, Diamante. Then you got to throw in. See, this is what I would do. Look. Let's
T-Mac story time.
Well, let's get something. I've talked about it before, but let's talk about it again. This fucking high school or college gimmick with the Varsity Blondes and Julia Hart, fuck that shit. So what you do is you get some hard bitches, right? Thunder Rosa, Diamante, and you turn little blonde, blue-eyed, everything is great, Julia Hart into like a, try me,
Nick
motherfucker.
Gage
Well, you turn her into the like, oh, you know who the craziest one of all of us is? That one. And it's the, hey, guys, what's up? And it's like, I'm going to fuck you up.
So kind of that Alexa Bliss, on the front, I'm like prior to going full crazy. On the front, who's a better...
Well, like Nikki Cross, like you do the Nikki Cross from Sanity, where it's like you got all these hard girls here, but the crazy one who's going to jump into a men's ladder match is Julia Hart. You guys better fucking watch out. But she doesn't aesthetically look like that. So I would make those three a faction. I don't know what we're going to call them. Maybe Rolling Thunder if you don't have that trademarked by Rob Van Dam. Something like that. And then that's your faction. Diamante, Thunder Rosa, Julia Hart. Let's get rid of the Varsity. Ooh. Mega clap. Anyhow.
Is she still doing the cheerleader gimmick, but then like all of a sudden she just fucking, you know what I mean? So she's thunderclap now. Cheerleader gimmick's got to go.
Yeah, like she flirts with the cheerleader thing, but she's not in the get up, right? She's not a cheerleader, but she kind of flirts with the like, you know.
It would be different if they went with like cheerleading. Like competition level cheerleading is intense fucking shit, right? But when they do the high school pom-poms fucking, you know, if they did like that's her background and, you know what I mean? Like you said, she flirted with that occasionally, but yeah.
No.
The high school pom-pom short skirt. Is that still happening in 2021 where they wear the like borderline too short skirt for cheerleaders?
Fucking know.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. They didn't. Two reasons why they don't need to do it. One, it's for fucking kids, and you're not a kid, so stop acting like the old guys at prom. And two, we're not 1990s wrestling where we all have occupations, right? Like I get that Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, is a dentist, but the thing is she's a legit dentist, and I get that she was Julia Hart, a legit varsity.
Well, we don't all
whatever.
Like we don't all. We don't all like connect with that because we have jobs that are like just office jobs, and you know what I mean. Like they could fit a different name in any different company and doing largely the same thing, right? It's all technical, blah blah something, right? Like something manager or representative or fucking, you know what I mean? So yeah, they can't do that, right? They can't do customer support specialist. Wrestler, right? So we're not gonna. Did I get it? Did I nail it?
Yeah. I'm gonna
data
clear
specialist.
Cash.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna clear cash and then clear your face with my right fist.
Right. Let me get that keyboard across your lip, motherfucker.
Yeah. Control Alt Delete your life. Now let's talk about the main event.
Boy, you just forgot to sign out of your fucking VPN over the weekend, bitch.
Yeah. Now let's get into it. All right, we talked about the John Moxley promo already. That was fine. That was good. Excited for that. The 5 Labors of Jericho, Chapter 2. If you recall, Chapter 1 was a chairs match.
And the 5th labor is MJF, right? So there's only, right? He's got to get through 4 to get
and
to
then
MJF.
the fifth is him. Yes.
Right, and we know who the third is, so there's only one mystery left. But anyway, back to this.
Yes. So if you recall, the first Labor of Jericho was a chairs match with Shawn Spears, the chairman, where Shawn Spears could use a chair, Chris Jericho cannot. Sammy Guevara gets involved to help out Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho gets the victory. Fuck all that shit. No more inner circle in this bitch. You guys can't come to the ring. Second chapter is a no rules match with the god of this shit, MDK, East Block, Free My Boy 2-6, Nick motherfucking Gage, MDK, all fucking day. I ordered a t-shirt as soon as he walked out. As I was talking about earlier in the night, when Dark Order came out and found myself just fucking doing the hand signal, I had so much fun with this fucking show that as soon as MDK walked out with this fucking pizza cutter, I went to mdkallday.com, got a large in the original throwback MDK shirt. It's on, shipped already. I cannot wait to wear it. I'm fucking MDK gang, fucking day.
I'm looking at the shirt right now, and I might get it.
Oh, he's the best. He's the best. Right here, motherfuckers. See, if you're on YouTube, you're actually seeing that. But he took on the Painmaker version of Chris Jericho. Now, I love this. This was so much fun. Tim, what did you think, though, of this death match on TNT television?
Look, I thought they went about as far as they were going to go on AEW, which I thought would go a little bit farther than most, you know, just to give it a little sprinkle. So there was glass. There was the pizza cutter was a touch. Maybe if you would have asked me going in, I wouldn't have thought like, yeah, sure, they'll do the pizza cutter. I thought maybe they wouldn't do that, right? But I thought for sure glass and light tubes. The pizza cutter, and then, of course, the blow up from the Domino's picture-in-picture commercial lives on. I just sent it to you. Barstool Sports picked it up and put it in a tweet.
Well, you know who's not happy about that? I read on Twitter.
It's Domino's.
Domino's isn't happy. Which fucking lean into it, assholes.
Well, listen, there's no way they could have known, right? They couldn't have known the timing that he was going to bust out a pizza cutter and fucking cut, you know. And what are they supposed to do? Stop the commercial all of a sudden? They can't do that. Well, we know how that works. They can't do that.
Yeah, but and then also, is Domino's not just going to have some fucking fun? You know what I mean?
Guaranteed you're going to get more wrestling fans ordering Domino's pizza over the time. That's how it works because you don't even think about it. It's like a fucking subliminal thing. Well, that's why they pay for commercials. Controversy creates cash. Get Eric Bischoff on the phone.
Well, not even that. My point is you're going to get the pro wrestling fans that think it's a funny thing to order Domino's because Domino's is going to be the death match pizza.
They should include a pizza cutter. Like,
what I'm saying though is the mom in Wisconsin isn't going to fucking know about this. This isn't hitting her radar. The only people that are going to see this are wrestling fans. So Domino's, you're only making it a bigger deal by saying, we don't support this. Shut the fuck up.
By the way, I'm checking out that mdkalday.com, looking at this shirt, and I want to run through it. You know, it's got the shirt. It says MDK Classic logo tee, gives you the price. You can select the size. You can add to your cart. And then it gives a few bullet points and says screen printed in Los Angeles, California, 100% cotton. Soft as fuck. I love it. I've got to buy the selling point. That's it.
That was the selling word.
Yeah.
Right there. That was like, of course I'm getting this shirt.
Yes.
Fucking love this match. What I liked about it is, and we're going to get into GCW Homecoming Night 1 in just a moment here, but what I liked about this was it was an appetizer for deathmatch wrestling, where you did get the pizza cutter, but you know how long you got the pizza cutter? Maybe 7 seconds, 8 seconds. It wasn't this deep, long out, I'm grinding his head. When you got the shiv of from the light tube from Nick Gage, I know that they went hard. I know that. But Nick Gage took care of Chris Jericho in so many different aspects. One of which being that shiv where he put his hand. Yeah. The side of his hand was hitting Jericho's
Look, he even
forehead,
did that, and we're going to talk about another match over this weekend with Nick Gage. He even did that in that match. Like he
took care of these guys.
Yes. Look, you're going to get bloody. You're going to get stabbed. You're going to get cut. But he did not. ever put these guys in more danger than they were already willing to put themselves in, it appears.
Yeah, I think most of the blood came from Chris Jericho blading himself, which he's done a million times because he came up through the 90s and early 2000s, which he did that in every single match, it felt like. So that was nothing new to him. And I think all of those spots with the pizza cutter and all of that was either really quick or protected where it's the side of the hand hitting his head, not the actual light tube. Now, the light tube things he had to take. There's no faking that. But this is, again, where I will bring up, this is the second instance where we had, how long were they at Daly's place? 16 months?
Yeah,
18 months?
Like that. Yeah.
You had 18 months to have all the fun stuff with no fans, and now you've done 2 shows where the first show, Nick Gage is throwing thumbtacks just at the crowd. Now, it's supposed to hit Eddie Kingston, but most of them didn't. And then you have light tubes just getting exploded on Jericho's head, and they showed the crowd got hit with some of the glass. It's like, guys, timing, not the best, but still fun. Love it.
Yeah. What a match. Nick Gage is intense character is really all I have to say about that. Like,
I love it.
Yeah.
I love him. I love him. I love his inspirational videos. If you've never seen him on Twitter, where he talks in favor of trans rights, because trans rights are human rights.
Yep.
I like that he's about his fucking friends. He's loyal. He's about this shit. He's a great, genuine dude. And guess what? If you cross him, he's going to fucking hurt you really bad. Because that's what you deserve.
Yeah.
Fucking Nick Gage.
And we're going to talk
president.
more about Nick Gage. Stick with us if you're watching live or if you're listening later on the podcast or watching later.
Nick Gage.
We're going to talk about Nick Gage, and people love them. Some Nick Gage. And,
But let's get to the end of this match. So, match ends with the Judas effect, which I like that the Judas effect is becoming Chris Jericho's one-winged angel, where with Kenny Omega, only one person, which John Moxley kicked out, but one person has kicked out of it.
Because he misses it every fucking time. Anyway.
Well, it has to be safe, because or you're breaking
the goddamn thing. He
yeah,
didn't hit it. He did not hit the
this
fucking.
One he did.
Yeah,
this one he did.
Right,
but it's still, again, they don't get take twos. He would probably do it if they had it. So again, suspend your disbelief for just a little bit. But no one's kicked out of the Judas effect. Neither does Nick Gage. Nick Gage loses. Chris Jericho gets his victory, just as it was last week. MJF says, fuck that shit. You don't get to celebrate. We're going right into Chapter 3. Chapter 3 is going to be a blast from your past, from the WCW Cruiserweight division, returning to TNT television, Hubentu Guerrero. Now, what do you think of this?
So much to unwrap here, and my mind went deep, and I'm going to cover it here. But also, before we get into that, MJF was on commentary for that match we were just discussing, and he's great.
The best.
And I love how he was like, at one point, like, Gage is bringing out the light tubes. He's like, what? It's legal. He's like, what's wrong with you, JR? It's legal. What do you care? And then, like, the very next thing, Jericho's hitting him with a bat. He's like, well, this is just cheating, right? Like, this is just... He's like, come on, everybody can see that. This is cheating. Love him. Yeah. MJF is my favorite. All right.
Yeah.
So, Hubentu Guerrero. This is where I started thinking, oh, shit. I think we're watching the Jericho retirement tour. Because why would he bring in his greatest rival of all time, or whoever he considers one of his greatest rivals of all time, in an otherwise story where we're not going to care? Like, I mean, yes, we have a little bit of like, Hoovy, but nobody was ever like, Hoovy was my fucking guy of guys, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, right, yeah.
So it really doesn't advance this idea that, like, he's also like a, I don't know, I think Hubentu Guerrero is 95 years old. So, like, it doesn't, like, it's not this, like, oh, my God, he's going to lose. Now, he did say you've got to hit a spot off the top rope. Yeah. And, of course, Hubentu Guerrero, that's all he fucking does. So, good luck, because that's his first, he's going to enter the ring that way. How are you going to stop it? But I'm a little worried now. I'm like, oh, shit, are we seeing the end? Is Chris Jericho going to lose to MJF and retire? Here's where I'll know that's happening. If it's Lance Storm as number 4, this is the retirement tour.
Now,
if it's Lance Storm, you'll believe me. You'll be on board.
I will.
It's
I will.
Tour.
If it's Lance Storm, I could see him beating Lance Storm and then losing to MJF and then saying, I can't do it
anybody
anymore.
Who hasn't ever read any of the Jericho books, Lance Storm, like they went to the training, they started wrestling training the same day. Right. Yeah. It was his first match. So, of course, Jericho's that kind of guy. Jericho, if he was writing a story, which he loves to write his stories. Yeah.
Right here.
Hey, can I borrow
Jericho's book? Yeah. Look
You're
at
like,
this.
yeah, no.
By
You're
the
never
way,
borrowing anything of mine again.
no, ever. By the way, got it signed. If you're on the YouTube, you can see this. Got it signed by Chris Jericho.
You know what Chris Jericho will not do? Be
What?
on the Spanish announce table, apparently. Remember his agent told us a hard no.
Fuck that agent. It's probably the agent. He probably didn't know. October 2nd, 1990. His first match was against Lance Storm. So there you go. You can check it out.
If it's Lance Storm.
It's not going to be Lance Storm. No, it's not. Here's what I think. I think what they're doing is, hey, you know how much success we had with Cody Rhodes' Open Challenge? And we got to see Warhorse and Eddie Kingston, and then Eddie Kingston becomes a member and all these fun things. Well, let's do it again. But if we call it an Open Challenge, then everyone's just going to compare it to Cody Rhodes. So we call it the 5 Labors of Jericho, and we're getting fun matches that way. I think the 4th match will be someone from Jericho's past, but it isn't going to be Lance Storm. You know who it's going to be?
You told me.
It's going to be one of his former tag team partners, one of his
Champions
former
of the world.
champions of the world tag team champion, or the tag team champions, Jericho. I think this is going to be the return of Paul White in the ring. We're going to get Paul White versus Chris Jericho.
You got to beat the Giant. But again, I'm going back to, Paul White is, I think he's younger than Hubentu, but he's like 84 years old. So, oh no, Jericho's got to beat an 84-year-old man with bad knees who's 500 pounds. Come on, man. If he can't do that, then this was the point of this, I guess. But,
yeah, but I think they're going to build Paul White as he's in the best shape of his career. He knows Chris Jericho better than anyone else. I mean, they're going to play all those hits, right? And then he's a 7-foot, 500-pound monster.
It's going to be Lance Storm, and then he's going to retire, listen to MJF.
No, he's going to beat Hubentu. I think he has to do a Hurricane Rana, so that's going to be the, oh my God, he's 50 and he can do that. That's going to be the spot. And then I think the 4th labor of Jericho is Paul White. That's what I'm predicting. And then the 5th one, MJF beats him. I still think MJF comes out on top.
Yes. God damn it. This was all for nothing if they don't.
Yeah.
Well, that's where I kind of wonder. That's where I think it's the retirement. I think he comes out, it's like Lance Storm. He's like, all right, fine, you get me, but I'm throwing an extra wrinkle. If you lose, you never wrestle again.
Now, they definitely could do that. But again, pro wrestling, how many people have retired, right? I think this is going to be after the 5 Labors of Jericho. I think this is the transition of the Inner Circle is Chris Jericho's group to the Inner Circle is Sammy Guevara's group. And I think this is when Jericho may become like a founding father type member where he just pops in and out and says like, hey,
dude, I would love
you need some muscle. I can be that.
I would love that. Sammy Guevara leading the
Sammy Guevara. I think he's going to take over the Inner Circle, which would not shock me is if in the 5th match, Sammy Guevara turns heel on him and then on the Inner Circle kicks out Chris Jericho or something.
That's the 4th labor.
Maybe again, like I said, I wanted it to be all of Inner Circle, but man, see, Josephine was really into that. But yeah,
full-throated. That sounded like she was like eating somebody's leg and barking at the same time.
She's done that before. But yes, so that
I'm
was
aware.
AEW Dynamite. Yeah, she's done it to you. So that was the main event for AEW Dynamite Fight for the Fallen. Chris Jericho beats Nick Gage. This was a fun show.